Fresh cut by who? I hate I got the puppies.
Good podcast.
I feel threatened.
Oh, now I'm officially winded. Shouldn't have done all that. That is not a good way to start the episode. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Inside the Pallet House. Take two.
Yeah, exactly.
It's probably the
from outside the pallet house.
From well outside the pallet house. This is from a social distance of a tank of gas from each other.
Yeah.
It's a little.
Well, you're in the pallet house, so that counts.
I've made it in the pallet house, yes. I've made it out back, but we're not together, unfortunately. Such are the times. And this is our second attempt at this, trying to do this whole internet thing. It's been a nightmare.
First one sucked.
We literally recorded one on Monday night. We had all four of us here. We had Ely. We had, obviously, Troy and Stu. We put down what I think was probably the single best episode we've ever put down from a...
Single and only.
Yeah.
From a content standpoint, my God.
So,
I mean...
So funny, too. It was hilarious.
There were so many good one-liners, good jokes, all in all, about perfect. But the internet was a nightmare. I mean, a nightmare. And most of the jokes were heard
audio quality sucked.
Oh, dude, the audio was horrible. It was horrible. The fact that you just talked over me and I heard you so I could respond, that was not even possible last time. It, like, all of a sudden, like, all three faces would just freeze on my screen. And I'd be like, what do I say? I'll just fill the air with sound. Anything. It was
just talk to yourself. You'll be fine. You'll be good to go.
Yeah.
It really was. It was an episode where you three recorded it and you got to hear each other, and all I got to hear was me and see frozen faces of you guys staring back at me.
And then we saw you freezing up and glitching from time to time. So it was an S show from the jump.
It was really bad. And the one positive thing of this, thanks, Stu. The one positive thing that I've seen, I totally lost my train of thought because Stu, no more chatting. Sweet Jesus.
Well, you can't handle all the input. You got video, you got internet, you got social distancing, and a chat page.
Yeah, I didn't expect the chat. All of a sudden, I was supposed to be reading while I was talking, and it just threw me for a loop. Yeah, to say the least. But I'm glad that the three of us were able to get together. Ely had a hard time making the commute to his couch. So
this is historic because we've never had such a bad episode. We felt the need to re-record. I don't think. Am I misremembering? I mean, we've had bad episodes, obviously, but
we've put out some turds. We put them out. Like, you know what I mean? We go. I mean, how many times, honestly, have we turned around and looked at each other and gone, "That was bad," and gone, "Well, we'll go out Thursday."
Yeah.
No, that was a historic fail. I've never.
Yeah.
It was heartbreaking. The one good thing, I remember what I was going to say before Stu chatted me. Damn it. Literally, he chats me the moment I say that. You're killing me, Stu. Stop with the chatting.
Even social distancing, Stu's doing Stu things.
What am I supposed to do? I'm comfortable on my couch. You got me in my element, and I'm good to go.
The one positive. May I get to it?
Yes.
Let me have
please
a beer.
Pause, Stu.
Because the episode was so bad, and I ended up so frustrated, my entire thoughts, for the most part, oh my God, Stu, my entire thoughts were completely surrounded by, why is my internet so bad? I can't believe this. Like, I literally forgot about coronavirus at least like probably
for 48
30
hours.
I'd say 30% of my corona thoughts just went away because I was so focused on the fact that my internet was a nightmare and the podcast was that bad. Which is crazy.
We went Marco and Polo in hardcore. I mean, you've been a ball of stress since this Corona thing, but the past 2 days have been nothing but, internet and how we're going to fix it, how we're going to make it better, because we care about the listener and we want to put out a good show.
I question why I care as much as I do. Like, I started thinking about that. I was like, why do you care? Like,
I know why.
I do too.
I can tell you why. Because, and we ended the last episode on, but I think we should talk about it earlier. Our last episode brought up a lot of feelings. You were speaking from your heart, and you put stuff out there that Stu had never heard of. I had no idea you were going to talk about it. And we got a lot of positive reactions for it. And I think because of that, you were feeling bad because Monday, our initial version was so piss poor, and we wanted to, we got that shot in the arm, to care again, which is a good feeling.
I'm following you again. At first you go, the last episode, I was like, last episode was horrible, but no one heard the last episode. I'm following you now.
Yeah.
It's coming together. I got you. Yeah. No, that's
you got a big shout out to, somebody out on the West Coast,
which is funny because we ended the last episode talking about our buddy Jason, and now it looks like we're starting the episode talking about Jason. So we literally picked up right where we left off, which means all that great content is dead to the world. That's unfortunate. We'll have to go back and try to tell some of those jokes because I was killing it.
Right.
It was amazing. So, Troy's got it.
I had one good joke, I think, last the unaired episode that I thought crushed, and that's the only thing I remember. There wasn't much to talk about.
Well, it's because every time it was glitching, we would all panic and get furious. It was so hard to have fun. And even Ely was making like really good points because Ely has all these points about how much we should be shut down, how much we shouldn't be shut down, what we can do to fix it. I mean, like he'd been like planning all week, I think, for his tirades, and then it'd be like, damn it! It's like it was horrible. But yeah, we did get that email from our buddy Jason on the West Coast, and it was really good just to hear from a listener. There was actually a lot of feedback coming out of that last episode, where people were just like, "Look, we're glad to have you here. It is nice to have some kind of release, someone to talk to.
It brings some normalcy. It brings me back to Richmond. It brings me back to certain things, and that's all we ever wanted. That maybe it's on us for not being clear, but like the interaction is what we strive for, and that's kind of what we did the last episode with was, obviously we're not trying to get rich off this. This is a passion project.
Speak for yourself.
Well, Brendan said
it. No, it's true though. We're not.
It's easy to say we're not trying to get rich because, let's break the fourth wall. We're not getting rich. So, the feel good stuff, the interactions are really why we do it.
Well, I mean, Brendan said it best, which nobody heard, and I'll steal his line.
Story
but
of my life.
He said a little line that I thought was really poignant, bringing a little bit of levity to a scene that's got a lot of gravity.
Yeah. Oh, damn, man! I said that sounds great. I want to say that again.
That doesn't even sound like Brendan.
Yeah,
it sounds exactly like we were trying to bring a little bit of levity to a situation that has a whole lot of gravity. Actually, it makes a lot of sense. That does sound like me. And when you said it,
that's
I go,
what we try to do every week.
The fact you don't remember it just.
No, when you said it, I'm like, yeah, that's right. I did say that, but that's the truth, and it's a difficult time. But Jason, man, thank you. Your email was heartfelt. It definitely was. It was good to hear from you. I'm sorry for what you're going through, and it's just it's a reminder of how small this world is, and how small this little family is of people who listen to this show, and kind of that you're dealing with the same things that we're all worried about and dealing with, and you're out there on the West Coast, so we are glad you're listening, and we're glad to be helping out, at least doing our part as far as talking. But yeah, we're all feeling it. The struggle is real. California's been shut down for a while. Now Virginia is officially out of school for the year. The kids have been sent home, which I found to be really interesting. I thought for sure we'd get a little bit of time, like as we crept closer to summer, but nope. It's over.
Yeah.
The kids go
Yeah.
back in September. It's a little odd.
Man.
Seems premature, for sure.
There's a lot of things that are going down that are causing anxiety for parents. Watching, taking care of the little ones for those that can't stay at home, and then the teenagers that are going crazy that don't want to get out and be about, and they're breaking protocol and blaming their parents for the reason they can't go outside and things like that. It's just not fun.
That is so crazy. Yeah, they're like, you're ruining it. I've had a couple people talk to me this week where they're mad at their parents. Like their teenage kids are mad at them because they're like, you're screwing me here. This is horrible. And it's like, I literally have no say in this. You think I want to be stuck in here listening to you piss and moan and watching you eat all the food, you little shit? Sorry.
Yeah,
it's
especially
irrelevant.
when they're of age where like they can go out and you can let them be out in the real world for hours on end. Like I don't need to be lording over you at that age, but now I have to.
But
Thank
here
you.
we are. Thanks so much.
My oldest boy, her boyfriend just got his license, and he's like out and about. So she's all about, we can go and do, and then we just put a clamp down on it, and she's losing it.
Yeah, better put a partition in that car, social distance.
Sounds like he's losing it.
Yeah. He better not be losing it. Not to my daughter.
You mean she better not be losing it?
Yeah, well, either way.
Oh, that's great. To watch Stu's face slowly come over the internet, going from Troy's joke is, wait, fuck you, man.
Wait, hold on.
That's my princess, you son of a bitch.
Well, with this whole lockdown, she's been far from a princess. She's been a pain in the butt, but I get it. No kid wants to be locked down in four walls forever.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds brutal for all involved. And I feel bad for all the kids of all the ages, especially the ones that are, ending elementary school and going to middle, and ending middle and going to high, and ending high and going to college, and ending college and going to the real world. Like, you do all that work and you don't get the closure at the end. Like, that sucks.
No, and you didn't finish out your final exams. I said it last time, and I'm serious. I'm never using an accountant or a lawyer if I see their degree on the wall and it says class of 2020. I'm like, you faker. You never finished it out. You don't know all the details. Can't use you.
What about if it's past, like, what if it's 2030? Like, 10 years before they graduated, they had that half year off. Like,
it's a small asterisk, though. It's a small asterisk.
True.
Like, so, it's the ones who graduated in 2020 from their degree. That's the ones I don't trust, because they could have been failing.
The medical doctors you need to worry about.
Right.
Like, it's one thing using a financial advisor or a lawyer, but like, I'm going to split your chest open and repair your heart. What class are you in? 2020. Whoa.
Yeah,
whoa.
I'll take your new doctor over there who just graduated, who finished in a normal year.
So
or your grandfather who graduated in 72.
So I was talking with a friend of mine, and regardless of where your stance is on this whole corona reaction, overreaction, underreaction, doing everything right, pretty much the world as we know it will be a little bit different when we come out on the other end of this. And
for sure.
Is this and what we were thinking about was how the world was different, the change from pre and post 9/11. Now, are we going to have this pre and post corona where our kids they're the kids that will remember life the way it was prior to corona, as we remember life prior to 9/11, which is, it doesn't matter what happens. Like, this could be overblown, but there's still going to be changes down the road.
But I agree with you. I know what you're saying, because there is everything pre and post 9/11.
But I might be overstepping my boundaries earlier, but I feel like this might change us as a nation more than 9/11, because 9/11, yes, it was a huge tragedy and we all came together, but really, what did it change other than, like, you take your shoes off at the airport? But like, this is going to change literally social skills. We talked about it. Like, are people going to get out and get together more or less? That's to be seen. Are people going to shake hands? That's to be seen. Are people going to work from home more or less? That's going to be seen. I feel like the social aspects, like, 9/11 brought us all together. This is forcing us all apart, and we're starting to adapt to this technology. And maybe we won't be as tight, or maybe we'll be tighter. Who knows? Like, to me, that's the wild card in all of it.
Yeah. Well, at least this time when your screen glitched, Troy, the audio was still.
It was perfect. Yes. I was thinking the same thing. Like, when he froze, I was like, oh, here we go. And then like his whole speech came through. I was like, ha, we're doing so much better. It's a good thing. But I tell you, I'm not going to miss the handshake, but so much. Like, I like the handshake, but I have always been such a germaphobe that, like, I'll sit there, I'll shake a hand, and then, like, I will feel that I haven't washed my hands. Like, you say I shake a whole room of hands, you know, like after a meeting or before a meeting, I'm like, my hand needs to be washed. I do think about that.
I walked onto a job site today, and I saw this dude I used to work with all the time. I hadn't seen him in years, and this dude is a mountain. He is every bit of 6'6", 330 pounds. He's a monster dude and the nicest dude. And he just was so happy to see me. He walked up and was like, hey man, how you doing? And just grabbed my mitt. And I was like, I guess we're doing this. Like,
this guy doesn't wear condoms.
I wasn't going to like try to elbow bump the dude.
He's a father of 7.
Yeah, no shit. Every sperm is sacred, motherfucker. I get it. I'm with him.
Well, no, that's
actually,
like,
it's funny because about 30 minutes before I saw the guy, another coworker I saw said, oh man, you remember this dude? I said, yeah. He goes, I ran him the other day. I elbow bumped him. He almost pushed me through the wall. And I was like, yeah, that sounds about right.
Like, because he wasn't having it?
No, like,
or he's just a monster.
Massive dude. Like, his elbow bump was like body checking somebody. Like, it was like, all right, never mind. I'll just shake his hand.
Yeah, it's a little different out there with the real estate side. They've shut down open houses. You know, you can still do showings and tours and by request. But I went to a showing the other day, and right there on the front porch, it just has a big sign, a bottle of hand sanitizer, which they left out in the open, which I was surprised to see it still sitting there. But they're like hand sanitizer and Lysol wipes. And they said, please hand sanitize, and if you can, don't touch any of the appliances. And then you go in and you show the house. But I mean, it's kind of crazy. It's definitely changing.
This is the golden era for selling a house for the shitty handyman who's like, no, don't touch any of the switches or any of the fixtures, or God forbid you touch the oven door, because all that shit's been rigged up and ready to fall off. And he's just like, sanitize, chill. And you're like, I'll give you a full asking price. Be like,
well, I'm sure you've seen it out there on the web, the picture of the plumber dressed in golden attire, because plumbers are going to be killing it because everybody's going to start flushing different things down the toilet because there's no toilet paper.
The golden era.
I had a plumber over last week, and they were talking about how they couldn't I had the plumbers over, of course, because, you know, support our friends. And I was telling them about their job, and they were saying, you know, they were kind of down. And they were also saying, well, I said to them, I said, with all this toilet paper shortage, you're going to have, you know, emergency calls, because people are going to be flushing all sorts of random shit down the toilets. So you will have work.
Not in my house, motherfuckers. What? Bidet world.
That's right.
I'm loving the bidet.
Up 30% in sales worldwide, bidets.
They are. Apparently, they're killing it right now. Like, every time I go on Reddit, someone's like, oh, my God, I discovered the bidet. And I'm like, yeah, you did.
But what was it you said? You got to make sure you get the instant hot water.
It was.
Yeah, you want a tankless water heater.
You got to have the hot water
heater. It's the way to go, man. It's the way to go. You can't have ice cold water coming up your bum.
It was funny that the plumber's company sends out these text messages and emails with like the actual technician and a picture of them and their name and all that stuff. And it said on the text messages and emails, like, we will not shake hands. We are practicing social distancing. Please stay away, you know, yada, yada, yada. So like, they're taking it pretty seriously.
Yeah. It's happened on the, there's a whole addendum that's now been attached to any of our real estate contracts. That's the COVID-19 addendum, which just says both parties are aware that your closing at the time you're supposed to take possession of your house may or may not happen due to unforeseen circumstances. And it's like, okay, we'll try our best, but it's affecting, it's touching everything. I don't know. I'm trying to think of anything or any scenario that it's not, or any style of life or business that it's not affecting.
Oh, I mean, this affects all of us, and even if you don't get affected by it from an illness standpoint, every single one of us is going to be affected by it from an economic standpoint and from a societal standpoint. That part, there's no denying. Wherever you stand, if you're a believer that this is overblown, that you think we're not doing enough, I can tell you this, you're going to feel the economic impact of this, the ripple of that for a long ass time. I mean, this is insane, man. Like that part, I don't know. Because if we have reacted enough, then the good news is we'll never know. So then everyone who says that this was an overreaction will actually get their day in the sun. They'll get to go, yay, you fuckers, you guys overreacted, you ruined everything. I was right all along. But the truth is, if they did react enough, then those guys would get to say that, because not everybody died and we didn't get crippled. But either way, the economic impact is legitimately a problem, and there's no denying it.
Well, if I could speak for Ely, and I backed him up on this, if I remember correctly, on our ship podcast, like that was his main question. Like, is what we're doing with the social and the economic, is that worse than the actual virus getting caught by more people? And I mean, I agree with him. That's a valid question, because, we're a social people. I speak for, I am. And, the economic side of it, I mean, I have lots of friends, we talked about Terrence last time, we have lots of friends that own small businesses, and, the hit that these people are taking, like, it's scary. It's really scary.
Yeah, it's the whole question: is the cure worse than the virus?
Well, I thought Ely's point was pretty salient when he said that really, if they just came out and said, look, guys, we're locking down for 4 weeks, we're locking down for 6 weeks, it's enough for us to flatten the curve. But when I say lockdown, I mean you guys are staying home. The good news is, after 4 weeks, we're going to open back up. At least this way, every business goes, all right, guys, this is what I need to do. This is how much we need to plan. Like, everyone has a game plan at that point. It would have given everyone an end game to work towards. Now, I don't know how realistic that is. I'm not a scientist, but when Ely said it, I was like, that I can get behind, because it's the unknowing, the uncertainty that makes it so impressively difficult to plan for.
It's like we all joined a race, and we're like, let's have a race. And you go and you start running, and there's no finish line. Is it a 5K?
Yeah, if it was a 100-meter dash, I would have really started running quick.
They keep moving the finish line.
Yeah,
because they could say, well, the president said it was 15 days from last Monday. Now they're saying it's 30 days up to the state. And then, should we have done it just for 2 weeks and reevaluate and go from there? There's no true endpoint.
There's no right answer.
Yeah, my company today just sent out an email and said, definitely not going back to work before 4/20. That was officially now the new line in the sand they just put out there.
Interesting.
On many levels. Lean in.
You picked that date?
I know. Like, it's wild. I assume it's a Monday. I don't know.
It's a holiday, I assume, right?
I didn't even look, you know what I mean? I was just like, oh, wow, that's like a whole month.
It's funny because I'm still working, but I really don't have any idea what days it is. Like, the date is actually, I have to look at my watch or phone because I'm so confused.
It is totally different. How are you holding up teaching the kids, being a teacher?
So, I'm lucky I have both my in-laws are coming over, and my mother is coming over, because they don't seem to be worried about it. And because my wife's going out and working, I'm going out and working. Now, some days I do get the luxury of working from home, and we're trying to keep up with the kids doing things every day, and there's getting some interaction with their teachers. But I mean, it's not a 6-hour day. It's not it might be a 2 or 3 hours worth of work. I mean, luckily we're staying pretty motivated as of right now. They start in the morning. They get on. They each have a computer, and they get on there and they read and they type and they do math. They do various things, but I mean, it's not school. I mean, there's just no way.
Yeah, that's the problem. Sorry, I'm being Stu now. But that's it. Like, I mean, I don't know what the hell is going on, like, with these kids. And I just found out they're not grading anything. Like, I keep having the kids do stuff.
So
it's brutal. It's brutal. Like, we're doing the assignments, we're doing our part, and then, like, all of a sudden I'm like, how do I turn it in? What do I do? Turns out we're not turning it in. They're not grading. And my girls, fortunately, haven't, like, been less motivated, but it was a little demotivating. You know what I mean?
So we have multiple teachers in our neighborhood, and I've been talking to them. One of them's a high school English teacher at like the 11th and 12th grade level, and they were doing this work, and then and then
sorry, internet
once
glitch.
the kids found out they can't yeah, totally English. Once the kids found out that they weren't getting graded, he's trying to teleconference. He's like, there'll be like 10 kids on there, and they'll be literally laying in bed, and they're like not doing the work because they're like, you're not. I mean, and I don't blame those kids. I mean, you do the work for the grade. I mean, that's why you do the work. And when you're in the school, you don't do it for the giggles. You don't do it because it feels good.
Yeah, there's other things for that.
Yes, a lot better things.
I love that Stu is completely muted because he's been over there talking for a while. I'm watching him just chat into the air, but nothing's happening. He's still muted. He's rolling.
Hey, no, I'm not. I'm not.
Oh, there he is. There he is.
Welcome back, Stu.
He was over there. Do you see the look on his face? He was like, "I have got a legitimate point," and I'm like, "No, you don't."
I was talking over him.
Yeah.
Oh man. Shit. So yeah, my dogs went crazy. Had to let them out, and now I muted myself so that you didn't hear them. But damn it, if I didn't turn myself back on. But to your point, I don't know how to work this damn
standard
technology.
Conference call procedure, right? Oh, sorry, I was on mute.
Oh, before Stu talks, have you seen the videos? There's videos of this Zoom stuff where people are like taking them in the bathroom and not realizing they're Like, I saw one where like a girl was on a conference call with like 12 people, and she took the laptop in there and like totally forgot she was video conferencing, and she's just sitting on the toilet.
Oh,
and people start giggling, and then she jumps up and like slams the laptop down.
Well, that's we had our first Zoom meeting for the real estate for my brokerage, and we had 35 of these damn squares, Brady Bunch squares for the Zoom meeting. But yeah, some people don't realize that the video is on. They're dancing, coffee, whatnot. It's crazy. So
new technology for us all,
dude. Speaking of Zoom meetings and the kids and everything, this is what set me over. So the podcast was brutal on Monday night. Obviously, we put in an hour and about 20 minutes before I finally threw my laptop out the window, and so I was already furious, right, about my internet connection. And then the next day, my oldest daughter had her first like group meeting with all of her classroom. So they were going to do a Zoom meeting with all of the kids and the teacher, and she was going to talk to them. They had like an hour slotted, and my daughter was fired up, excited, She comes in my room, and I'm not kidding, man. It looked like she was going to prom. She was wearing a full dress, like nice dress. She made her hair. Like, she was so excited just to see her friends. And I didn't realize how difficult this had been. Like as far as like her missing her friends. And she came in and she brought the computer, and I see her come running in, and like she's holding it over by the router. Like, I'm trying to get on. I can't see anybody. Like, what is happening? Like, it's not working. And I'm like, I know, the damn internet is pissing me off too. Like, I was so upset by it. And then, but to see her like get dressed up, go through the whole process, and then no joke, man, like her eyes just filled up with tears. And she was like, Dad, the internet's the worst. And I was like, that's it, Verizon, you sons of bitches. Like, I went off the deep
I thought you had cricket.
No, I'm better than that, but not by much.
he's paying per gigabyte. I didn't make it this month.
Let me get a $5 bill out. Throw it at him.
See what happens real quick.
Oh shit, Mr. Kennedy.
Well, the kids do get free. They get free Wi-Fi if they have a Chromebook through the county because they did a hookup with Comcast. If you get a hotspot somewhere, the kids can log in there. So, if your neighbor's got it, let the kids steal it.
I like that attitude. I'm gonna go ahead and
steal what ain't yours.
But just saying, that's the way you could do it. You can get it. You steal it for free. The county's giving it up.
They got internet or just the actual Chromebook?
Well, no, they're letting. I think they agreed with Comcast and the county schools that if you have a Chromebook and you're a student, you can log into the Wi-Fi because apparently not every student has Wi-Fi at home that gets a Chromebook.
Apparently, we barely have Wi-Fi at home.
Yeah.
So
as you look across our screens.
Yeah, I know today you were out hunting down Wi-Fi and routers and stuff like that, but it kills me that Verizon wouldn't let you just pick something up. You had to wait, what?
2 days. It took me 2 days. But on a positive note, I'm actually getting a tremendous upgrade to my internet, and it'll be here November 30th. That is my actual install date.
That's your Christmas present to yourself, huh?
Yeah, it'll be just like that post Black Friday Christmas present to myself. The internet that I ordered, in the fucking spring.
So what we've just slightly done to all of our listeners is said, hey, this is what you're going to get till November. Unless
Jesus, don't even start.
Yeah, you're going to get to listen to us just drink beer in a more depressed manner. Now, Troy, you've actually, though, your neighborhood has pulled a whole King of the Hill thing.
Oh, yeah, we're hanging out on the regular. Today sucks because today was cold and wet all day, but we've been hanging out constantly, and I'm hoping it's looking like the weather's going to turn for the better the next few days, and I'll be back out in the streets with my dad crew just crushing beers.
So is that literally it? It's like King of the Hill. You're just standing out in the street, like social distance and drinking beers.
And selling propane and propane accessories.
That's right. We just go to different driveways and hang outside and bullshit. It's been awesome.
So Troy, you got to tell everybody how you stuck yourself in a fishbowl and fried your face.
Yeah. So my face is still red. If you can see it paused on the webcam here, but
that's exactly what it is. I see a frozen ass screen with just your red ass face on here.
Well, now I actually see you, Brendan, which I wasn't seeing you at first. But so Sunday, some of the dads and kids met at the pool, and we got this new pool cover, but we didn't get it on in time. So every year we have to drain the pool and basically scoop dead squirrels and leaves and stuff out and power wash it and all that stuff. Well, last year we put this white paint on it after we got it all clean to make it look new again. And then this year we got some of the leaves got in it. So it's still kind of grimy, and we got down in there and we scooped all the muck out of it and power washed it. And it was on Sunday, and I didn't realize it at the time because it wasn't hot, but it was a nice sunny day, and I was just down in this white reflective pool all day long with a power washer, and
just getting your tan on.
Yeah, tan. You mean lobster?
Microwave
lobster face? Yeah. Somebody walked up to me. One of the dads walked up to me and was like, "Man, it's so bright." I had sunglasses on all day, and one of the dads walked up to me and was like, "Man, it's so bright." And I just picked my sunglasses up halfway and was like, it was like looking directly into high beams on a car. And I was like, oh shit, I've been in this literally fishbowl, just white reflective surface, just eating me up all day. And when I got home that night, every piece of skin that I didn't have covered was lobster red from it. It was pretty awesome.
That's going to pay dividends though for life. You're in a good spot.
Yeah.
That's a positive.
Cancer.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's how that works.
Well, I'll just tie that into our beer because if you're peeling your skin, you're getting a fresh cut, Boo. And so we're going to go fresh cut IPA. Boo. Made by Trogs. What's his? How do you pronounce his name?
It's the Trogs Fresh Cut IPA. And what's heartbreaking about this is we actually did this deli last.
Let me open mine.
Yeah, exactly. We all actually drank this deli on Monday. Now here we are frantically trying to pull something together on Wednesday. That's true, with Ely nonetheless. So we're frantically trying.
Oh, we didn't tell the story. We didn't tell the story of the quarantine deli. So Brendan, being the wonderful producer he is, he went out and bought 4 different delis and hand delivered them to everybody else. So we have 4 weeks of delis that we could drink.
I was honestly,
next month.
I was under the impression that the lockdown was coming and that we weren't going to be able to get our hands on beers. Now, little did I know that beer and liquor stores would be deemed essential, and
else, as they should be,
or else, like your wife said, the hospitals would be overrun.
I hadn't even thought about that, and I guess we can rehash this story because none of the listeners were there. So you guys have heard it.
It was a great story.
But when they officially came out with the laundry list of things that were deemed essential, liquor stores and beer stores and wine were actually considered essential, which I thought was a little odd. And she said that at the hospital, they were all actually excited to hear that, not because they're a bunch of drunks, as like all the doctor shows on TV will lead you to believe, but because they didn't want to deal with the influx of alcoholics going through withdrawal symptoms and showing up in the hospital when they need the beds for other things. And then on top of that, they said that the well-being of the public, like the amount of stress that we're all under, a lot of people are going to need to take a little bit of relaxation, have a glass of wine here and there. They were like, we don't need depression to skyrocket. So strangely, we need depressants this time. So they didn't want depression to skyrocket, and they didn't want a bunch of people going through withdrawal, because not only would it fill the beds, but it's going to cause chaos in the streets on some level. So I was like, damn, I didn't realize that. So let it be known, our government's a bunch of drug dealers.
And then all the drunks in the hospital will be drinking all the hand sanitizer. You got to worry about that.
The old Kitty Dukakis.
And the cough medicine.
Exactly.
So
yeah, Brendan gave us all 4 beers.
He was Santa Deli.
Yeah, I literally drove around to everybody's house and was like, here's the next 4 beers. And the last one was like, if we get to this, the world's over. We may as well review this turd.
Yeah. That's a good. If you hear us reviewing this via the web,
so the first beer we picked was the Fresh Cut by Trogs. Is that the pronunciation?
Trogs. And last episode, I very proudly let everybody know that it was a Maryland brewery. It's from Pennsylvania. We learned we learned during that episode. So I stand corrected.
I think Stu has the info pulled up. You want to read up on it, Stu?
Just a quick, it's a 6.2 on the alcohol volume. And
which makes it an essential beer.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Each spring, hop growers dust off their pruning shears and trim the first shoots, bolstering the binds for a rich growing season. First cut, a mouthful of silky Simcoe, Comet, and a touch of mango is a nod to this ritual, without which the world would be a less hoppy place.
And if I remember correctly, Stu went first. And Stu, do you remember your?
Yeah, I said, this is a pretty good beer. I would, I could see it doesn't have a back end taste to it. It's all good. I like it. I'm going to give it a 2.5.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That was exactly right. Stu came in and goes, I don't really like the marketing here. I don't know about this blade.
Oh yeah, he did his classic Stu where he started trash talking and then said he liked it, and then he undercutted the final score.
Yeah, and then he was like, this is really good. It's really easy on the mouth. Like, I enjoy it. There's no bad aftertaste. This is a really good IPA. 2.5.
Yeah.
Like, okay, then.
I don't like IPAs.
So then I went and it did say it. So it's marketed as a mango IPA, which to me, when I drank it, I tasted the citrusy flavor, but it was very crisp and clean, no bad aftertaste, which is always my hatred of all IPAs is the funk mouth.
Super mellow aftertaste. Super mellow.
I hate the IPAs because I feel like I have bad breath. I don't even want to talk to anybody after I've had it. But this had good to me citrus flavor and a clean finish. And I think I gave it a 3 if I remember correctly because I liked it, but I couldn't go above a 3 if I remember correctly. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, you're right. You gave it a 3, and you were wanting to go up to a 3.5, but you held steady at the 3.
But I did say I liked it. I liked it overall.
And you gave it. You gave it the old, as far as an IPA goes, this is the jam. Yeah. But what was most interesting, I gave it I gave it a 3.5. I said I really like this beer. The truth is the mango in it doesn't taste anything like mango, but it is really tasty and it's a little bit fruity, but you wouldn't know that it was like a fruit infused beer. Even after they told me, I was like, you're lying. But it was an excellent beer. I gave it a 3.5, but what was so shocking about the whole thing was...
I think what I said, too, was if it didn't say mango, I wouldn't guess mango. I'd guess citrus before I guessed anything.
Yeah, that's exactly just right.
Enough. It wasn't overpowering. It was just a hint. It cut the hoppy part out.
But Ely jumps on and...
shocks the world.
I thought he was going to hate this, and he was... Basically, if I want to reduce his entire review, it was, I don't like IPAs because they don't taste enough like this IPA. It's basically it. He was like, this is amazing. So,
and he started off by saying, I agree with everything Troy just said.
Yeah.
And Brendan, I think.
So we ended up, only because of this coronavirus time that we're all stuck in and the fact that the world is topsy-turvy, I gave it a 3.5. Troy gave it a 3. Ely gave it a 3, but he was so effusive in his praise that we ended up giving it a deli because he was like, the fact is that if I had to rate it as an IPA, this is one of the best I've ever had. But if I have to just rate it on a beer, I'm giving it a 3. So we gave it because he got all the way to a 3 on the beer scale, not the IPA scale. So
I thought it was 3. He said it was going to be a 3.5 if it would have been the IPA side, right?
Well, all 3 of us gave it an over. 3 of us gave it an over 3, which is nice, you know.
And you toss out the lowest score.
Well, no, and you praised it. You praised it, but you just gave it a bad score. So to me, I kind of sold everybody on giving it a deli because we all liked it.
Yeah.
And if everybody likes it, and that's what it's now called, does everyone like it? If we all like it, it should be it should be a deli, and I stand by that. Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, and we arbitrarily move it around all the time.
Well, because it's our show.
Yeah, and we can do that.
That's right.
So.
I just generally
catching up.
I just generally don't like IPAs, and as it went, it was decent, but I'm just not a big IPA fan. And Brendan, put those fingers in your ears.
Oh, hey, what's going on? So what you guys haven't realized is I've discovered something new with the way that I have this currently set up over here. You know, I have this is absolutely jerry-rigged what we're doing here. Obviously, Troy, I see you, buddy. It's working. So
the production quality looks like Clark Griswold's garage.
But the internet we're using the internet for this. And every podcast you listen to right now, they're all down a peg. So I don't feel as bad because I always listen to other podcasts and go, well, they sound better. We need to get to that sound quality. And then we do. And then I feel good about it. Well, now we sound like shit because we're using the internet. But now I'm noticing that even like the Adam Carollas of the world sound like crap. Like they're all on the internet. So, but what I discovered was in this rigged up, horrible situation with cords everywhere and internet connections and new routers and craziness, when I use the soundboard, you guys don't hear it.
No.
So that's what you're doing.
So I can talk over you a little bit if I want to with a couple soundboard drops when I deem it fit.
So Troy, what we don't know
that'll be fun
is
to listen to.
When Brendan doesn't like us, he's just muting us, and we're just talking. No, actually, that was me muting myself.
No, he's dropping Pat-isms all over us.
Yeah, exactly.
I haven't. All I've done is a couple
about
crickets.
Birds a lot.
A couple of crickets.
Yeah, I've only dropped a couple crickets, just like when I'm not super excited about somebody's talk. I'm like, let's drop a cricket here. This is
never
gonna
gets
be
old.
fun. Yeah, right. Everyone's going, I'm stuck in my damn house, and your pinnacle of humor is a freaking cricket sound, you asshole.
So what we missed out on, Brendan, which they didn't hear last time, is you went around and you rang the bell because it did get the deli.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
So as you do that, it was
go around. He's on the other side of the bar. That's my job usually because Brendan's on the front and I'm behind the bar. And good work. We heard it.
Now I got to do everything around here. I like it better when you guys are here.
Right?
And you guys are helping out with beers. Things are moving around. It's a lot better flow.
Troy, save that Mike quote. He just said he likes it better when we're there.
Hey, let's not get it twisted. I do like it better when you guys here. This is it's awkward, man. As I'm sure it is for you guys. I mean, you're sitting there by yourself, laughing and talking. Anyone who walks by is going to look like you're fucking insane.
The only people staring.
Playroom.
And the worst part is we have headphones on, all of us. So anyone who comes by, all they see is us just talking to ourselves, giggling like assholes.
Well, I got my dad passed out in the room next to me, and I got the two dogs in here, so I don't have to worry about too many people walking by.
So if you guys see, this email keeps going around. Everybody's fired up about the damn strip club in Portland.
Dude, that's amazing.
What was it called?
My wife sent that to me. That's how awesome it was.
It's everywhere now. So the first day I saw it, which was before the Monday episode that will never be released, but we do have it. So if you
that won't ever be spoken of.
Yeah, if you donate less than $1 to our Venmo account, I will send you the worst fucking episode we've ever done. Troy, what is that Venmo?
At Inside the Pallet House.
I can never remember it. So if you send us less than $1, that's what you're going to get.
Yeah.
Anyone who sends, more than $1.
That's the barrier to entry.
Yeah, we send you the best of season 1. But anyone who sends us less than $1, I've got just the treat for you, you cheap son of a bitch. You're getting the worst Corona episode ever. But also the best episode ever. But the Boober Eats, guys, from the strip club. I can't think of anything I would want less in my hypochondriac ass in the middle of this time than to have some woman who's been rubbed on by every feverish asshole in town to deliver my dinner. Sounds horrible.
Did you see that? Did you read the thing? Because I saw the headline and I was like, that's interesting. So I went in and read the article, and it's kind of crazy because you're getting strip club food, which is subpar.
It's a
that's the thing, though.
charge.
I was going to say there's a $30 surcharge because you're getting two strippers in thongs and pasties and their bouncers showing up at your door, which that's weird and awkward too. Like, the good thing about strip club is you walk in there, your neighbors don't know you're in there.
Yes, exactly.
You're dropping dollar bills, and $30 might last you 2 hours in those type of joints. And then you walk, and then you go home. Now it's like you got trash rolling up on your
it's like,
porch.
did you see Troy had a couple strippers on his front door? What's he running low on hepatitis? The fuck is going on?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Oh, Stu, you dirty
Stu
son
just
of a
brought
bitch.
So
that's not good pod, Stu.
Along the lines of Boober Eats, which, having a stripper, the lady that flashed at the Washington Nationals game and the Astros game is now she's now putting things out there with herself in the toilet paper, making selfies.
Toilet paper's covering her nipples, apparently, on this picture you just sent me, which, and covering all kinds of her naughty bits. Boy, Toilet paper is awesome.
She just made a living out of one thing.
Good for her.
What kind of trash gets this Uber Eats thing? I mean, that's crazy.
I just can't. And it's got to be the worst strip club in town because they've showed me, like, I've seen all of the girls.
Oh,
and there's maybe like one that I would be excited to see on my doorstep. Any of the rest of them, I'd be like, oh no, I'm getting robbed.
The top one's like a 5.5, maybe. Like,
yeah, I mean, it's brutal. And why would you want? To your point, Troy, why do I want strip club food? It's the worst.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm going to pay a $30 surcharge to get a bad club sandwich delivered by some just ratty stripper. But look, I guess we're desperate times, you know. And maybe they show up and you just go, I've got an extra 50.
So the way I see it is that you're breaking that 30 up between the two strippers and the bouncer. So it'd be like, let me call up, Strawberry Shortcake or whatever, Mercedes or whatever her name is. I'm there all the time. I probably know her. For $100, I could probably have her in my house for an hour.
Forget having her in your house or on your lap. Social distancing, man. She's dirty.
Well, I don't think people care about that.
That's true. That.
Well, I was going to say to Ely's point from the Unheard podcast, the fact that you let businesses and companies innovate on themselves on how to get through, that's how you're going to get through. They're going to make their own money, do what they need to do. And, Brendan, with what you're doing on screen, you don't need to be trying out for the strip club.
Awkward.
Yeah. I like the idea. I mean, it's pretty innovative.
No, that's the thing. That's a good thinking. Boober Eats is funny too. Like, and that came up. Like, no one was showing up because everyone's social distancing, and it's the exact opposite of what you want in a strip club.
Did you watch the video of the dude? Because he was like, my goal is to keep everybody that works here, working. He says,
I'm not mad at him. I actually like it.
They're delivering the food. Yeah. He's like, he said, what was it? He was like, the waitresses, they're taking the orders, like everyone has a new job, which is cool. Like, that's,
when it's all said and done, he's going to have the best strip club in Portland because they're going to be like,
yeah,
that guy actually gives a crap. Like, he tried to keep us going. So, Stu, that's a little dark. 6 minutes until the end of time.
Yeah, just let you know.
We're over here using the free Zoom, which is only a 40 minutes at a clip.
It matches your internet speed, so we'll be good to go.
Yeah, unfortunately. So we're doing a shortened episode, unfortunately, just because of the fact that we can't come up with $14.
Well, I'll tell you this hour will have been better than the hour and 20 we had on Monday. That is a given.
We hit a boatload of podcast topics, though, on Monday. Like, we were really trying. Like, you would get into a topic, and it would start to burn itself out, and because of the way the glitches would happen, and then, like, we'd move on to the next topic. So we hit a lot of good stuff. It just was brutal in the process.
Yes.
It was brutal, and it was, pertinent, but it was just like one topic heavy, and we delved into it, which wasn't a bad thing, but I think we learned how to work.
I do think we're a little too Corona centric. I want to try to keep this as we go forward more lighthearted, tell funny stories about Corona affecting our lives, but I want to keep going and tell funny stories we hear and try to keep the humor in it. And I think that's what our goal is.
Well, this episode we certainly did. The last episode, though, I thought was a good discussion, and I actually am bummed that didn't necessarily happen, but even the discussion kept getting cut short and dealt with.
Yeah.
It was just,
if anybody's interested, shoot us an email and we'll give you the transcript.
Yeah, it sounds like
donate less than $1.
Yeah, it's easy. You donate 99 cents.
$1.
We'll send you that miserable episode. It was, I literally went to bed furious that night and woke up furious.
And you woke up furious.
Yeah. Immediately reached out. It was like, I'm still pissed off.
Was there any success in trying to splice it together, edit it at all?
I have no idea. because honestly, I edited the whole thing as far as like getting the levels right, and then I turned it on, and I got 3 minutes into it before that feeling of I need to throw this laptop out the window crept over me again. And I can tell you this, my teeth are killing me because the stress of coronavirus, the society shutting down, my job going into the toilet, the economy free falling, the fact that my internet had crashed, my child is crying, and also I'm trying to teach the child, and the podcast went just to crap. It was just one more thing, you know what I mean, to add to the equation. My teeth are about quarter-inch smaller than they were going into coronavirus. Ew. Oh, that, and I'm also not having any Zyn right now because...
Oh, that's on you, though.
Yeah, I'm taking 2 days off a week because I'm hoarding Zyn so that, make sure that I don't use all the nicotine.
She says plenty.
Oh, yeah, but every time I go buy one tin, I buy a log, and then I just bury it in the yard like a dog. I'm losing my fucking mind, man. But I'm doing a lot better. Like I'm worried about other things, which is nice.
Well, we're going to keep putting out these Zoom episodes, and I think we're going to get better. So I think I'm looking forward to it. Make the best of what we got. Like everybody should be doing.
We are. We're making the best of it. And that's all anyone can do right now because we don't know what the future holds, man. There's really there's no telling. Are you dancing for me, Troy, on screen there?
Yep. I'm just making sure the video is working.
Yeah. Looked like he was like molding some clay pot, doing a little ghost impression.
Now he's voguing. Good on him. Well, look, everybody out there, look, do your part, do the social distancing, but remember, you don't have to give up your life. You're on lockdown, not quarantine. Unless, of course, you're fucking sick, and then get on quarantine. Because that's a whole different thing. But there
Take care of your mental health.
Yeah, you do have to worry about your mental health in a time like this. I mean, it does matter, and it's real. Because unfortunately, look, the body gets sick, but the brain gets sick too, and that's a real concern.
And give those people that are by themselves a call.
And I need to be better about that. Truth be told, I need to start just reaching out to people. I might spend my day tomorrow calling those people. And
while you're fucking around on the interwebs all day long, interact with us on Facebook, on Instagram, on all the social media.
That's true. Facebook time is through the roof. Like they're saying that the Facebook traffic right now is higher than it's ever been. So holler. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram and Twitter at ITPH Podcast. And we also have the Gmail account, which is insidethepallethouse@gmail.com. Fucking A.
That wasn't a glitch either. That wasn't the internet.
Oh, it was a glitch.
Oh, that was a glitch.
It was a glitch.
A glitch in the system.
Yeah, I'm just eking my way towards a stroke at this point. The stress is real. It's ridiculous. No, but thank you guys so much, and everyone who did reach out last week. We appreciate the sentiment. We've had some success stories. We had young Jimmy closed on a new house. I'm excited for him. We've heard from people just letting us know that it's been a rough week, but a good week in some respects. Our boy Sealy, their resident meathead, that dude just turned 40, which is disgusting. He's gonna have low T now. Yeah, enjoy your low T.
Now we're done with him.
So old. What's he gonna do?
We don't hang out with 40-year-olds. Not part of the crew.
That's right, because Stu's freaking out. He's like, thank God I'm 50.
Got my AARP card. Good to go. No complaints.
Everybody, look, take care of yourselves. Take care of your loved ones. And we'll be putting this out. We're sorry about the way the internet is and the way this thing sounds. But truth is, we are doing the best we can with this.
We're in a better spot than we were. Donate less than $1. Hear for yourself.
Yeah, I mean, literally recorded 2 episodes this week. We put in damn near 3 hours of content, and 30 of it pretty good.
Well, I was going to say, it wasn't even like the content's one thing. It's the prepping. Like, I know Sunday night you guys spent 2 or 3 hours trying it out. And then Monday we spent over an hour trying it out. And tonight we spent almost an hour trying it out. Like,
it's true. And then if you look at all the time, like trying to get the new router in the house so that I could even do this to make everything work.
It's a full-time gig.
Web microphones, all that good stuff. We're dropping a little bit.
Yeah. Spending coins.
Hey, actually, you guys sound a lot better on those web mics, though. On Monday, you guys sounded pretty rough. Well, Stu, you sounded good. Troy, we're really talking about you. You had you were hurting.
I was on that headset.
Well, thank everybody out there for tuning in. We're like, you know what I'm saying. I say it every.
We're trying.
Week. Yeah, we're all doing our best. Look, subscribe. Cincinnati Swap some people. How? Damn it.
Review.
How do they even Cincinnati Swap people right now?
We can't ask for that right now. Share. You can share it.
Yes. Email it to all your friends. The new Cincinnati Swap. The Corona Swap. This is where you
talk about it.
Yes.
Get on Facebook.
Email one of the Better Shows links and just send it out to people. That's excellent. All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll be talking to you next week. Be safe. Take care of yourselves and your loved ones. Cheers.
Cheers.
Peace out.
I hate puppies.
That was a pretty good podcast, don't you think?
Good podcast.
I feel threatened.
Yeah.
A really good podcast, don't you think? I'm not even know how to phrase my feelings right now.
Yeah, man, I'll tell you what, that dang old internet, man, you just go on there, point, click, 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 it's real easy, man.